Hi there. I'm Cindy Linden, and this is a Cookalong podcast quick bite. This was not a planned podcast. This is totally spontaneous because I just made and ate something that's really yummy, and I just am here to tell you about it sort of off the cuff so that you can do it yourself. My partner eats oatmeal for breakfast every day. Usually it's a overnight oats thing that gets made ahead of time and put in the refrigerator, and then it's kind of portable and easy to eat and always ready. I like oatmeal for breakfast maybe 3 times or 4 times a year. And when I do it, I sweeten it horrendously. I put dried fruit in it that can cook up. I add cinnamon. I add a little maple extract. And then when it comes out, I shower it. I slather it with brown sugar. And then I pour some sort of half and half or milk around the edges of it to kind of make it less sticky and less dry and have the contrast of the cold with the hot. In other words, I have to do a lot of stuff to my oatmeal to make it interesting to me. And this is all of it ideas I got from those instant oatmeal packets. And I just decided I didn't need to pay for the fancy oatmeal packets when I could do all of that just by myself at home. Now I have something new. This is the first time I've ever had oatmeal that I devoured and I just loved. And in fact, it says the full recipe serves 8 to 10. I made a half. That would mean it's supposed to serve 4 to 5. The problem with that is I had at least 2 servings for breakfast, and this is so not me. But it was so good, I just wanted to keep eating it. This is not necessarily a good thing for a breakfast oatmeal because I was having the same reaction I do when I have cookies I really like. I just want one more bite. I just want a little more taste. But at least it was oatmeal, okay? This recipe is called Slow Cooker Blueberry Oatmeal. I found it on delish.com some time back. It's actually been up there for several years, and I don't know what brought it to my attention, but I'm glad that I found it. I printed it out some time ago, and it's been sitting around waiting for me to plan ahead. Because since it is a slow cooker thing, you have to plan a little bit ahead. That is, if you consider the night before to be planning ahead. And I thought it would be a lot of fuss to put together before I went to bed. And you know what? It's just not. It's just not. It's really easy. It's so easy that we don't cook it together. It's here on the Quick Bite because you can do this with very little effort. And I think you should try it. I am still tasting the yumminess and the creamy, super creamy texture. And it's really hard for me not to want to go back and have more just for the pleasure of the taste and the texture. I won't do that, but I want it on the record that I want to do that. The ingredients are these. Butter, which is just for greasing the pot. It can be unsalted butter, can be salted butter. I don't think it matters. In fact, I kind of think the salt is a little bit helpful. And you're just going to wipe all that around in the inside of your slow cooker pot. So I don't know that that's really an ingredient, but it is something you need. It's almost more of a tool. I'm going to give the ingredients for the half recipe that I made because I think the odds of your needing 8 to 10 servings of oatmeal all at one time are a little bit low. If you have a big family or you're having company in the morning, then just double the numbers that I'm about to give you. It takes about 10 minutes to put this together. 1.5 cups of whole milk, 1 cup of water, 1 cup of old-fashioned oats. Now, please note that is not quick oats. That's the rolled oats that take a little bit longer to cook. 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, 1 tablespoon of maple syrup, plus you're going to want some more of that for drizzling over the top at the end, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, a teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/8 of a teaspoon of kosher salt, 1/2 cup of frozen blueberries, and 2 tablespoons of shredded coconut. That seems a little weird, I know, but I really like it in there. You don't really taste it so much as get the little bits of chewy texture. And you may have heard me say that I really don't like coconut because it takes forever to chew it. But in this quantity, it's perfect. It just enhances what's already there. The equipment you need, obviously, is a slow cooker. And what I did was set my slow cooker on a timer. Mine is an old-fashioned pot that has just 4 settings: off, warm, low, and high. so I couldn't set a timer on it. I used a light timer, a regular plug into the wall, plug your light into it kind of timer. And that worked great. So at about 9:30 last night, I buttered the inside of my slow cooker. And then I put everything into it, except for the blueberries and the coconut. Those don't go in until the last 15 minutes. Everything else just goes in there. Now, you could do this if you were in a hurry. I don't know how this would work. You could cook it on high for 4 hours. But that would mean you're up in the morning. If you want this for breakfast, between 2 and 4 in the morning, I think that's unrealistic. But some of you I know do live that kind of life. What I did was put all of those things in the pot, stir the pot just a little bit because I didn't want to scrape the butter off the sides, put the lid on it, set my lamp timer to turn the pot on at midnight, and then I plugged that in and turned the pot on to low. I got up this morning shortly before 8 o'clock, and I added the 2 tablespoons of the shredded coconut and the half a cup of blueberries, and then you just turn it down to warm, and you let it sit there for about 10 minutes. It is so creamy. It was really too hot to eat at first, but it only takes a moment for it to cool off. They suggest that you'd serve it topped with maple syrup. And I don't disagree with that at all. It really doesn't take very much. It's more of a drizzle, like a garnish, than a necessary sweetener. It does make it taste really, really good. I scooped that into a bowl. I drizzled it with the maple syrup. I did not put any milk on it. I did not add any other sugar to it. The blueberries that I added are my favorite. They're enormous and incredibly blue tasting, if you know what I mean. They're called Ozark, and I don't know that they grow anywhere now except this one farm here in Oregon. Anyhow, any blueberries would do. The frozen kind from the store, it's all good. I ate what seemed to me to be a little larger serving size than what I would usually make for myself in the microwave oven with my usual trimmings. And in fact, the recipe on the back of the oatmeal suggests that you use a half a cup of oats to make yourself a personal bowl of oatmeal. I never do that. I do somewhere between a quarter of a cup and a third of a cup, and I just know it's twice as much water as oats. And so I have very small servings. The one today, it was definitely more than that. And I was trying to read a magazine while I was eating it. And I couldn't focus on what I was reading because the taste and the texture of this oatmeal was so good. I finished what was actually a pretty decent-sized bowl of oatmeal. And I sat there for a minute and I thought, okay, I know there's more in there. I don't need more. Certainly this is an adequate meal and I should be content with that. And then I got up and I gave myself another half serving. I mean, I must have eaten, I don't know, I ate at least what they would have called 2 servings. So while it probably was 4 servings, it didn't mean that there was more than one meal there for 2 of us. I just thought it was so good. I kind of put the 1 serving that was left over into a bowl, took a picture of it so I could show you, put that in the refrigerator, and dashed in to make a recording because I think this is worth your time. I am not the person to advocate for for oatmeal, porridge, whatever, for breakfast. That is so not me. And yet here I am doing it. And it's very easy, and you wake up to it all done in the morning. And then the only catch is restraining yourself from eating too much of it. I hope you will give this a try. If you have questions about it, contact me. You can reach out to me at cindy@thecookalongpodcast.com or send me a message on Facebook. I hope you react to this recipe the same way that I did, with surprise and delight and an eagerness to share. There are new recipes of this podcast every Saturday. Please tell a friend to listen in this week, next week. Share something with them that you found entertaining here on the Cookalong podcast. And until next time, happy cooking!